Hello, and welcome to Fading Suns on Thursdays on the Ulysses International channel. I am Jamie, your GM, and with me are the crew members of the Oh Boii. And with us tonight, we have the triumphant return of Perpetua. Welcome back, Perpetua. So when we last left off, the group had a Come to Zebulun meeting where the revelations of demons in a head being accomplices of the murder of Falcosus and a number of other secrets kind of bubbled to the surface. Val was able to have a good heart-to-heart with Lucia. Ercole and Gemma kind of helped Calypso get past this need to take the blame for everything and kind of face some of the decisions that she made, while Gregor and Val were really dealing with, the death of Falcosus, who was Gregor's father's kind of adopted father of Val. And as we left off, several messages were sent. Jexo reached out to Samuel. You reached out to Nigel. Reached out to Nigel to see if he was there, got a message back, or definitely the message was received, but no response was given. Gemma and Val reached out to their contacts in the battle order and with the Kraken, trying to figure out what's going on. And we ended with Gregor entering into Calypso's room to kind of confront the octopuppy in the room of Calypso's involvement with the death of Falcosus. Up until this point, Perpetua, who returned from the diversion group and sort of strangely passed out in her bunk, plagued by visions and terrors, and that's basically where we're going to start off. It's the sounds that wake you up. Muffled sounds of voices through the bulkhead, which definitely means they're yelling. The sounds of whales, most disturbingly, the sounds of the flappings of wings. These are the things that bring you back to us, Perpetua. And you find yourself, you distinctly remember blowing up a bunch of stuff and getting back into the ground car, only to have the whole thing rock, and the right side of your head is just throbbing. You definitely feel a little bit of a lump underneath your hair. But it's the sound of arguments and wails and the slamming of doors, which kind of draws you back to consciousness. And you find yourself in your bunk, where it's kind of become your home over these last several months and weeks. What do you?
So the sound of wings, I think, is what startles me awake. I'm used to the sound of yelling. There's a lot of high feelings on this vessel, so it's not terribly concerning. But the wings. So I sit up probably a little too fast and look around for feathers.
As you look around, you kind of stumble to the door. You don't see any feathers, but it definitely sounds as if the wing beats that awoke you were coming closer to you. That's what finally what drew you to wakefulness. And as you are looking around for feathers, you can hear, you definitely hear the sound from the hallway of glass being scraped against metal.
Yeah, I go toward the yelling.
As you open the door, you can see across the hall and kind of to your right, outside of Calypso's room, you see Jexa with a glass. She's
You'd probably be able to do that easier not through the door. The vents are probably a better bet.
I mean, yeah, it's just I saw it once on the screen, and I was trying to see if it was. I think I. Wait, do I? Which? Hang on. Anyway, hi. You're awake. It's nice to see you. By the way, I threw you under the bus.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So I told them about Ashkagael, and might have said something about you knowing about it, and maybe you had her in your brain too.
Well, we're not sure about that. We don't know what's in my brain.
Right.
Okay. So is that what the yelling is about?
No, that yelling is about Calypso might have had a hand in Falcos's death.
Falcosis is dead.
Yeah. We don't
Okay.
know a lot of information right now. But he left us and came back here. And when Lucia got back, he was dead, and Calypso might have helped the person who did it get off planet.
Oh. And she's not in there alone with Val and Gregor, right?
She's in there alone with Gregor. I mean, if you notice, the yelling is mostly Calypso. So I don't think she's in trouble. I think
Well, not if it's just Val and Gregor got concerns.
No, Val, she went to go calm somebody.
Oh, okay. Talk to them, not like calm them.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe they'll calm her down.
And Gemma?
She and Ercole are talking.
About demons or
probably. I left them when they started to talk about whether or not they were going to submerge me in water to baptize me. And yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. But there was talk about like how long she was going to hold me under, and I was like, yeah, okay. This is where I leave. But it's nice to see you're up.
Oh yes, thank you. Yeah. Obviously our diversion worked. So that's good.
Yes.
Blowing things up. It's really growing on me.
Oh, good.
So should we go try to find Val and see what Val knows?
Yeah. Did you ever meet Nigel and Alexa?
I met Alexa. I don't remember if I met Nigel or not.
Okay. Well, he left me on red. Not like read the color, but like I read your message and I'm not responding.
Right.
So, I mean, that's got me a little unnerved.
So when did you message him?
I mean, like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Lily, Perpetua, give me a wits plus academia roll, please.
Hey, I have both of those.
Yeah.
I succeed with a 5.
How many would you like to spend? Well, this is a easy task. That should that worries you just a bit, right? Because there is no faster than light communication, which means the only way it could have been received is if the person was in system when it was sent.
Right. So where are we is probably the next question I should ask.
Oh, we're still on Lemminkainen.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Nigel is here.
Yes. I didn't even think about that. I knew him having left me on red was unnerving. Couldn't figure out why. Yeah, maybe Val has more answers. Right now, I would prefer not to be plunged into water.
Okay. Well,
So
I cannot,
maybe-
but she can plunge me into water first if that's what's going to happen, I guess.
I mean that's fine. That's fine. Again, it was the whole like, how long is 15 minutes too much? And Urkel gently telling Gemma that most other people can't hold their breath that long.
How long can Gemma hold her breath?
I don't know,
Okay. All right.
but apparently longer than we can.
Okay.
You know, us normals.
I wouldn't think that someone who has been around as much fire as Gemma has would feel fondly about water as a purifying resource. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I prefer it. I definitely prefer it to fire. I'm glad she didn't talk about burning the devil out of us.
Could be worse. It could be so much worse.
Val, you can hear both of these conversations going on in the hall.
I was gonna say we're wandering towards her, so
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just stick my head out into the hallway.
how long can you hold your breath, Val?
I don't know. I haven't
And do you
tested it
pref-
recently.
Do you prefer purifying with water or fire?
I prefer shooting anyone in the face who tries to do either. Hi, Perpetua.
So fire.
You're
Val, Jex is catching me up on things.
Yeah. Welcome back to life.
Yes. Life.
now,
Jexa, did you find out anything?
No, but Perpetua mentioned that Nigel or his comm is on Lemminkainen.
Okay. That's a problem.
Maybe because we didn't know where he was going to be.
Okay.
It's more of a oh no, things are not what we thought.
Right.
When are they ever?
Yeah.
your squawker goes off, Val.
Oh, okay. I'll answer it, I guess.
There's no vocal or there's no audio or video. It is just a message from the Kraken, and it's just a set of coordinates.
All right. I think I might have a lead on that fake inquisitor.
Ooh.
I just got a set of coordinates from my contact. Is it coordinates on Lemminkainen or?
It is a coordinates in the city you are in.
I pull up my map.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What you can see if you pull the map up, and it is about a half hour by hover car outside the city. It's in one of the small towns that surrounds kind of the Hawkwood controlled Hoppinen, the city. So what you know about that area, or what comes off on kind of the Order of St. Paulus's database, is that it is a small town by the name of Octreus. And what it is known for is that it was basically a ghost town until several years ago, when the Hawkwoods discovered deposits of pygmalium, a very rare hypersubstance that can be found here on Lemminkainen. And so the whole town is kind of turned into sort of a boom town as they're processing this kind of hyper material that they mine out in the blood desert and then bring to the town to process it. I feel like I said process too many times there.
It's fine. Well, I think we should check it out. Like we wanted to track that down, and we're about to leave Lemminkainen, so maybe we should go take a look.
Yeah. I think maybe we should bring along somebody of the church to back us up.
I think Gemma went to sleep, so maybe we could get Urkel to come with us.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I can drive.
Okay. I'll go find Urkel and see if he wants to come on a unspecified, vague mission to a mining town to follow down coordinates I got from a criminal smuggler.
What could possibly go wrong? You do find Urkel in his room. And again, now it's one of those weird things. When you come in, you swear for a brief moment there's like this golden light that suffuses his hand and kind of behind his head. But as soon as you try and focus on it, it's gone. And he's sort of sitting cross-legged with his sword across his lap. And he's running a fine, most people would use sort of like a sharpening matrix to kind of, wet the edge of the blade, but he's got like a pretty jagged piece of stone that he's kind of sharpening the blade. Now, yes, what can I do for you?
We are going to a mining town outside the city, following up on a lead, and Jexa thought we might need backup. Gemma's taking a nap. Do you want to come?
Gemma is deep in meditation.
Yeah, she's taking a nap.
Well, as we agreed that Jexa should go nowhere without one of the two of us with her, and as Calypso is here, Gemma can keep an eye on them, being Perpetua and Captain Mars. So yes, I would be glad to go with you.
Great.
Where are we going again?
We're going to this little mining town type thing outside the city to go to some vague coordinates that I got from a criminal.
And you feel this is a wise direction and path to travel? There's no judgment. I'm just trying to understand where this sudden interest would come from.
I mean, we were just pulling on loose threads and we pulled on this one and we're about to leave Lemminkainen, so maybe it would be a good idea to tie it off before we go off planet.
He kind of hops down off his bed, sheaths the sword behind him. Very well, now let us continue.
Is that not a wise reasoning? Like, I'm confused. What do you mean by...
Do you often receive mysterious communiques from those with ties to organizations of ill repute?
Yep, pretty much every day.
Interesting. Well, and as he steps out in the hall, he looks right at you, Perpetua, but he's sort of staring past you, kind of over your right shoulder. And he nods. I see you have returned to consciousness once again, Perpetua.
Yes.
Monosyllabic as always. I appreciate the succinctness of your communications. Shall we?
I guess Jex is driving.
Oh yeah. I got
All
my
right.
motorbike.
Your
Or,
motorbike will not fit.
you know,
for-
This could be
whatever
4 of us
car
hanging off.
the Van Duren estate will let us borrow.
I mean, I also have a bike, so we could just double up on the bikes.
Well,
Yes.
first of all, what car can we borrow?
Domitian will give you access to several different air cars.
Is there like a sporty?
Yeah,
You
you
know.
know there's a sporty one.
Will the sporty one fit all of us?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey guys, I know which one we should take.
Will he give me access to explosives?
Not at this point, Mistress Val. The Lady Lucia has sent most of the more heavy equipment onto, well, a different site.
Of course she has.
I do apologize. Had I known.
It's not your fault.
All right, so you pile in.
Do we need explosives?
I always need explosives.
That's I think Val always needs explosives.
When in doubt, blow it up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice pun there, Evan. All right, so you guys head out toward this, toward these coordinates. So, thanks, Evan. As you, Jexa, you get the coordinates from Val. You're able to plug them into the air car's navigational think machine, and soon you're racing off across Lemminkainen. You can see the cathedral and the Hawkwood estates. You quickly leave behind the Oh Boii and the misery of the Van Dorm estate that was somewhat overwhelming in just its blanketing of the grounds. Everywhere you walked, even down to the garage, there were people just in the midst of their grief. People staring over jobs that needed to be done, but finding no way to initiate them. People talking in sobbing whispers off in the corner. Just signs that the normal flow of and rhythm of the daily life at this estate has been, at least for the time, irrevocably broken. But quickly the car leaves Hakonnen airspace behind, and you can see the blood desert to the south kind of stretching out almost like a fingernail of rust on the horizon. And you can quickly see that this small town is approaching. You can see the large Pygmalion processing centers belching this almost pearlescent smoke into the air. There are, like, the biggest buildings in town are the 3 refineries, and then sort of the barracks where they keep the workers. And then there's a lot of little residential places kind of that seem to have sprung out. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no city planning here. This you can see what would have been the bones of the old town that this new processing plants have been built upon. And so the other houses are small one-story affairs kind of scattered about the central hub of the processing. There are large, there's a very hilly area as it sort of starts heading towards the mountain range. And you can see the entrances as you guys are kind of coming into a landing of a variety of different mines. Large holes bored out in the side of the hills, shored up by metal beams, giant floodlights on them, even though only 2 or 3 of them seem to be active, with rails that run right toward the processing centers. There are about 5 times as many that are still lit but don't seem to be active. And in fact, you can see where the rails have been sort of cannibalized from the tracks that lead from those mines into the center. The coordinates, now that you're here, seem to point to some of these abandoned mines on the outside of town. Do you wish to, like, where do you want to set down, Jexa?
Well, that's a good question. So most of these residences are only 1 story. There isn't anything grander.
Just the, if by grander you mean larger, there is one other building that occupies kind of the west side of town. So the side, there is a large wooden structure which strikes you as very strange. And you can see lights pouring out of this place. Like, every window, there's a lot of light coming out of it. But it's not like an official, like, fabricated building. It's not a building that seems to have conformed to any of the imperial guidance for buildings. It looks like somebody basically just used what tools were on hand and kind of built something else. But you can see that it's not like a steady flow, but not a minute goes by where someone doesn't come out of this place, like come stumbling out of this place, or workers are walking into this place.
Okay.
As you kind of circle the town.
So that's like the watering hole. I don't suppose I'm allowed in there.
You cannot tell from up here.
Oh, I was more looking at Perpetua and Val to see if they were gonna like say anything. Or are they the fun ants?
Well, let's see. Your only other aunt was Alestra, and she turned out to be the homicidal killer aunt, the psycho killer.
I think that makes the fans because we killed her.
Yeah, we're
Roll
the
it.
fun ants. We killed the psycho ants, so now we're the fun ones.
I don't
Yeah, sure.
think that Perpetua and Val are good at gauging whether 17-year-olds should go into drinking establishments. So it's probably our.
I went into so many of these when I was 17.
That's what I'm saying. Like Perpetua's been everywhere, and it's very hard to tell what the social mores are.
So where are you landing the card?
Well, that's like as I'm circling, I'm kind of looking at Val, going, okay, so you got the coordinates. Do we go to the coordinates, or do we ask in the tavern
I
bar?
usually like to visit the tavern first and see what the lay of the land is. See who's talking about what, if there's anything weird happening.
Okay.
Oh, there's always weird things happening, but
All right, we can land there first. I'll park the car.
all right. As you park the car, you can clearly hear the sounds of a slightly out of tune piano being played with by someone who gives exactly zero forks about the fact that it's late or it's early in the morning and the piano is out of key. They seem to be playing every key as if they hate it. Like it's a really just kind of pounding at the keys, but it's a very upbeat tune. It tickles the back of your memory, like you've all heard it before. And as you walk up, you can see the sign that's kind of been hand painted and definitely crudely hanging at about a 30-degree angle. It says Judith's Place.
Now this song, does it sound like ha 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 ha?
It does
No.
not.
Okay. That's a different song they'll be playing later.
Yeah. There's really only 2 songs in their repertoire, and this is the other song.
It does seem to be the other song. So, what's the plan?
I will not brazenly walk in.
I will brazenly walk in.
I feel
All right.
like I got to the door and I stopped and I was like, well, usually
All
this is when Gemma stops me.
Val, as you walk past Jexa into the establishment, everything here is lit by, I'd like to say gas lights, but that is not really what's going on. It looks like people took old Bunsen burners and just attached them to the wall. And so there's a lot of open flame. There's a lot of alcohol. From the scent on the air, you're guessing that what they are serving here falls under the oeuvre of hooch. There are people playing cards. There are, you also notice most of the people here have really strange burns. It's almost as if the the color of a large blister. Now imagine if your scars retain that color.
Ooh.
So almost that kind of nacreous, kind of pearlescent, and everyone here has it. Some of them have really bad ones across the side of their face. Some of them have little spots as if something splattered. But everyone in the establishment has them. You notice several of them have a really deep, racking cough.
Oh, this is a great place to hang out.
You can see there's one with short platinum hair. She seems to be in her mid-60s who is tending bar behind the place, yelling at people to take drinks to different tables, telling other people to knock it off as some of the card games get rather heated.
Did Jexa and Perpetua come in with me, or are they still hovering outside?
No, but I am pulling Jexa away from the person that's coughing. Discreetly.
All right. I'll walk up to the bar. You said the lady's kind of behind the bar at the other end, or I'll walk up towards her.
She kind of looks you up and down, and her eyes kind of narrow. She definitely starts looking like like you get the definite feeling that she's looking your exposed skin over, and then just sort of spits, and you can hear it like ring out behind, like something behind the bar. Well, you're new here. What'll it be? I've got, well, it's not the nicest stuff, but we brew it in the vats behind the foundry, and it'll get you, it's the finest in alcohols that'll make you go blind.
Well, I do love things that are bad for me.
You say that, and this real big burly guy kind of leans in on the bar. I'm bad for most people. Richter, go away before I cut it off and kick it around on the ground. And he kind of stands up and walks back away.
Judith, I assume?
My place.
What the sign says.
She hands you what seems to be, you're really hoping, is a tin cup filled with what smells to be somewhere between moonshine and engine degreaser.
Lovely.
What brings the... She looks at Jackson Perpetua and Erkel, the four of you in here. You don't really belong. You kind of stick out. No Pygmalion burns. You signing up for the foundry?
No, definitely not.
See, you don't like things that aren't good for you. You've already made a better decision.
Well, okay, that's fair enough, I suppose. No, I think we're meeting someone. Do you know anybody who's doing any kind of business out of the abandoned mines?
She kind of pushes your Firebirds back across. I think you better take your drink, finish it, and go. I'm a pen creature-fearing woman myself, and I tend to stay away from those who bear those kinds of seals, if you know what I mean.
Before we go, I'm looking for a friend. He goes by Nigel.
Several Nigels in here, but they're all regulars. I doubt any of them are friends with you.
No, I mean, probably not. And I'll describe Nigel. I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes with me tonight, but like, I'm pretty sure gangly,
Weaselly.
right? I'm picturing him like with ginger hair and freckles. And I don't know why.
Yeah, that doesn't describe Nigel, so.
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember what Nigel was described as.
Nigel was sort of one of those people that just had one of those faces that kind of blends in with the crowd, dirty blonde hair that he kept pretty short.
Okay.
And right up until he lost his leg, he was, a pretty decent, in pretty decent shape. But
Right, and he has a false leg.
listen, I'm sorry. There's always activity at the old mines. People trying to, jump claims and see if there's any more Pygmalion stuck down in there, but
Okay.
I haven't seen anyone named Nigel come through here, nor have I seen anyone with a leg like that.
Okay. But there is a gentleman with a badge.
There was, or at least there were people here bearing such a token.
And they were up at that mine.
They were up at several of them.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the help.
Hey, you don't get mixed up in stuff like that. What do you mean? What is stuff like that? What's going on up there?
I think it's an Inquisitor badge.
If you'll excuse me, I do wish you luck. If you don't like things, or if you like things that are bad for you, then I would definitely recommend going up to the mine. Or talking with Richter. Either will lead to bad decisions.
Abandoned mine, talking to Richter. I think I'll take the mine.
Good luck.
Okay.
Erical has sat down at a table, and you can see that the other 6 people at the table are getting increasingly angry. And he has several cards in front of him, and he goes, "Does this mean I win again?" And you can see several people are reaching for knives and other weapons.
Erical, come on, buddy, let's go.
I was just explaining to these gentlemen that this game is mastered by a very simple set
I
of probability
think you
statistics.
should-
And
I think you should stop talking and come with me before someone sticks a knife in you.
oh, that wouldn't be wise. And
Erical, let's go.
please, gentlemen, accept. I have no need of these. And he has a huge pile of firebirds in front of him, and he just kind of stands up and walks away, leaving them. I take it you found what we were looking for? Your Leviathan?
That was so much money you just walked away from. Ah, that hurts. Okay, let's go.
If you wish to go back inside and claim it.
No, I think I've kicked enough hornet's nests today. Let's go.
I will drive the car on over.
All right. As you kind of drive through this town, you can see that most people leaving the factory, most of them have burn patches on them, on their face or their neck, or a lot of them on their hands. And they all seem to be filing out, and about 3/4 of them are heading towards Judas, and the rest are kind of either heading towards the barracks or some of the other places. You can see there's a number of people in Hawkwood uniforms that are kind of keeping an eye on everything, and you definitely see the Hawkwood emblem kind of everywhere. Sort of reminds you a little bit of Samuel and Lorenzo.
Do I recognize anyone?
No, it's just a Hawkwood run
Okay.
place. But as you get out there, the coordinates are pretty accurate, and as Perpetua can show you, and you eventually arrive at a mine that says, it basically says claim 49 on a metal placard kind of outside. And to Perpetua's eyes, Perpetua can definitely see where a flitter has landed within the last several hours and took off. Like, being who you are, you definitely can just pick that up. That weird depression in the ground that's kind of like, has several berms on either side is definitely where like the short range VTOL has taken off and landed and taken off from there. You can see there is a flashing beacon at the bottom of the sign. You guys all know in general, though, like government or other authority organizations will leave beacons that will activate if people get close, just to like generally to relay a message or to like warn people of danger, that sort of thing.
Are we close enough to have activated it, or
Not yet. No, if you enter the
Okay.
mine, you definitely will.
so there's people here?
Yeah, there have been.
Mm-hmm.
From what Judith was saying, it sounded like these people have been working out of here or hiding out here.
That would explain the flitter hiding out. Because I can't imagine they drop people off to work here and then pick them back up. That doesn't make sense.
It
No.
really doesn't.
JM, do we know what this substance that they're mining is used for?
Give me an academia plus wits.
Oh no.
Make living statues.
That's my.
I will also give you an academic plus wits.
I mean, that's a great.
I critically N.
You what? Did you critically
Critically,
succeed?
is that the correct term? I'm very.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I succeeded with a 6.
So you would need a 6, Val, and so
Okay.
Val and Perpetua, you both. This is I mean, the reason it didn't kind of jump out is it's such an exceedingly rare element. Okay. In fact, there are only three planets that still have this element on it. Shoproot used to, but it's basically been depleted. And so Perpetua, because you got a critical success, I'm going to give you all of the information. Val, you know it's a rare element, but basically it's so uncommon that really in the last 1,000 years they've only managed to mine about a few tons over the last 1,000 years. It is used in the creation of think machines. It is an element that allows the think machine to simulate the neural pathways of a brain. So
yes, it makes.
yeah, your think machine, Perpetua, as well as Jexa's, both have minute amount of pygmalium in them.
Okay.
Was it on Shoproot that we ran into the fake Inquisitor, or was that Byzantium Secundus?
It was on Byzantium Secundus.
Okay.
Is there a way to trick that beacon that would alert other people? You're muted.
You can need a wits plus tech reduction to kind of see if it's connected to anything.
I got a 10. I was successful.
All right, so for 4 points, Jexa, you don't detect any signals coming off of it. It looks just kind of like a standard autonomous beacon that will relay a message.
Okay. Can I don't want anyone to know that we showed up here until we let them know. So is there a way that I can like disengage it? So
yeah, if you want to spend if you want to spend 10 points on that tech redemption roll, you can disable it.
Okay. I'll do that.
All right.
Say, okay, I don't think they'll know that we're here.
Yeah. And it looks like the flitter took off, so there
Mhm.
might not be anyone here, but maybe they left something behind that would be helpful. Wouldn't hurt to look.
Yeah. I know it's probably quite a large perimeter, but I kind of want to see if there's other signs of life.
Okay, give me a
Nearby
perception
anyway.
plus observe roll.
I succeed with a 5.
All right, so how many do you want to spend? The more you spend, the more information I'll give you.
So I didn't have to spend any of my 10 last time, right?
Correct.
I will spend 8.
Okay, so with 8, you see the flitter. You can see that there was definitely about a half dozen people that went in and came out of the mine. You also can tell that those people were, the tracks coming out are not as deep as the tracks going in, suggesting that they were carrying something heavy as they went in. And with an 8, you actually even see a little bit of blood kind of in the dirt leading into the mine.
Does it look like the flitter comes here regularly?
No, it definitely looks like they were. It was here once. In fact, those are the only tracks, and your guess is they're only a couple hours old, if that.
Okay. So I'll share that information.
Okay.
Great. So they're carrying something into the mine shaft that's bleeding. We should definitely check it out.
Yeah. I mean, I was not thinking that, but yeah, okay. Sure.
Or one of them is bleeding.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
blood in tracks. We should look
Right.
at it.
I'm gonna pull out my Martech Amber, wisely leaving my whomp gun on my back, because I do not think a whomp gun in a cave would be a good idea.
Yeah. I'll pull out one of my smaller guns too and head in.
Okay.
Quietly.
All right, you guys want to give me dexterity plus sneak rolls.
No.
I did not make it, but I did not like critically fail.
Okay. All right, so really the only stealthy one is Val, but the two of you think you're stealthy.
I would like to think that
Pretend-
Jackson is like, okay, yeah. Oh no, I just like stepped on something. Val didn't step on that. Oh no, I kicked a rock. How does Val keep missing this?
And
Yeah,
Val
so
has,
remember, there are two things that failure represents. It either is a very clear failure, or
Right.
you believed you succeeded. Like everybody assumes they're being stealthy when they're sneaking. A critical failure would definitely be that clang, singing the stealthy song at the top of your lungs, right?
we're sneaking.
It's not even funny.
That's right. Like, I've been reading a lot of Discord, so there's a lot of things coming to mind that I'm going to push down and kind of set off to the side for right now. All right, so Val, you are definitely, like, you all think that you are moving through this tunnel, and it is remarkably smooth, right? They definitely use like industrial boring lasers to at least carve the opening, and you can hear a low, like every so often you can hear a low groan up ahead.
person?
Like someone is in pain, but
Okay.
maybe isn't awake. Right? Like sort of like the noises Perpetua has been making for the last couple of hours in her sleep.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I will head towards it, keeping an eye out for anything, any
Okay.
more like sensors or anything that we might trip that'll alert somebody of our presence.
All right, you can give me a perception plus observe roll. Perpetua and Jexa, what are you doing as you head down this path?
Just trying to be Val.
WWVD. What would Val do?
Terrible philosophy to live by. Don't do that.
They use explosives.
Right.
Um,
I'm not sure that I like that acronym.
I hope that you are also making a map of this if it's not a straight shot.
Perpetua is always
yes.
making a map.
Okay.
We were playing Burning
that's
Wheel. That would be her first instinct.
It's an automatic
Always map. Yeah. All right, you guys can all see a little bit of a light coming from. It looks, I mean, there's like old mining tools in here. The ground is a little crunchy. It just, even as quietly as Val's walking, there's this little bit of, almost as if the earth here has been exposed to a lot of heat and isn't quite settling the way it should. There are flickering lights that have been molecularly bonded with the rock of the wall, but the batteries are starting to wear out, so they're not consistently on. They're not consistent. Like everyone is not working the way it necessarily should. But up ahead, you can see in the darkness. Val, would you go in your?
I got a 12.
How much are you spending?
I'll spend 8.
All right. You can see two things up ahead. There seems to be something kind of swinging in the center of a chamber, like in a very slow, not like circle, just kind of like wobbling back and forth in the air, in the shadows. And every so often, you hear those moans again coming from the central spot. And usually the moans are immediately followed by like a shifting in the way the thing is moving. You can see several other lights like way off in the distance that kind of let you know there are several other tunnels that extend out from this thing. And there is kind of wreathed in light, there is an inquisitor walking, kind of pacing back and forth in about a 3-meter rut, if you will, like they've been pacing back and forth in there the whole time. Jexa,
I kind of
Erical is
throw up a
right
hand.
beside you.
I kind of
just
throw up
sensed
a
him.
hand to stop everybody.
Do you see him as well?
Yeah, I have eyes.
Not everything here is as it seems. Be wary.
Jexa, is that the Inquisitor guy?
That's what I was just going to ask.
It is Alcanto.
Cool. I start to aim.
Okay, you want to give me a roll? He's far
Uh,
enough out that this would be perception plus shoot.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, I raise it, my gun, and if nobody says anything, I will take a shot, but I'm also aware I'm not the only person there.
I know I don't say this very often, but should we try talking first?
He
Ercole
attempted...
says everything's not as it seems. Maybe we shouldn't shoot first. Ah, that hurt. That's painful to say, but
He's really easy to see Jexa. Like, again, he seems limbed in light, like in the darkness. You're really not even sure you could miss him.
Here's the thing, Val. He's already tried to destroy us, and he essentially kidnapped a guy I was seeing on Byzantium Secundus, and then he
Another one.
absconded with Alexa and Nigel and Virgil. So he's probably the bad guy. At the very least, he wanted to take me in. I never said why.
Fair point. Carry on.
All right, Jexa, give me your perception
Is
plus.
Is Ercole going to say anything?
He is not. He's staring very intently at
Okay.
this whole thing, kind of trying to take it all in.
Because he's supposed to be keeping me on the path of the straight and narrow.
It is true. He is only human.
Right. And so I'm just going to look at him and be like, you don't have anything against this?
It is not JM's NPC's jobs to make moral decisions for
No.
players.
No, but if James NPC has chosen...
He is not saying anything. Like, he doesn't even seem to be really paying attention to his surroundings. He seems to be very intently focused on what's unfolding in front of him. It's almost as if he has drawn all of his perception and focused it on that point. He's not actually
Then I'm going to nudge him
reacting
and
to
ask
anybody
him,
else.
what do you mean it's not as it seems? Is this one of the demon things?
No, there is no demon here. There's no... You say he is the bad guy. I cannot even sense if he is a bad guy from here. I sense nothing.
Is this a hologram? I mean, that's what Jexa wants to find out. Do I see any computer things, pieces that would be maybe in the corners, forming a 3D hologram?
Give me a perception plus observe roll.
Okay, then I have a weird point.
You want to use it?
Yes, I do. Okay. I got I rolled a 12 and a 14, and I have a 13 for perception plus observe. So that's cool. I guess I'll go with the